means a signal from the in-between. I'm Brittany Lee, a writer, seeker, and translator of the frequencies that live at the threshold between worlds, where spirit meets code, where ancient myths echo through modern machines, and where the unseen patterns of transformation ripple through our daily lives. Today, I want to talk about how the middle path is the revolution. When I began my spiritual awakening many years ago, I was drawn to Buddhism and its principles, particularly the concept of the middle path. It is a balanced approach to life that avoids extremes. I was in my early 20s at the time. I'm 40 right now. Searching for clarity and a more beneficial perspective on life. The middle path struck me as both radical and comforting. The idea that truth often lies in balance rather than in extremes became an anchor in my life. Not to say that I was perfect with that. To this day, every day is a balancing act. That's kind of just what life is. We keep bringing ourselves back to center. That insight has stayed with me ever since. Whenever I have found myself caught in polarizing debates, chaotic news cycles, or even internal battles about how to live, I try to stick to the middle path. Emphasis on try. Like I said, I'm not perfect. It is not just a Buddhist teaching. It is a guide for living with intention. In our world today, where division seems to be the air we breathe, the middle path feels more necessary than ever. The divisive nature of modern society. We do not have to look far to see the effects of polarization. News outlets, governments, and even social media platforms amplify fear and division. They pit us against one another, even framing issues in stark binaries, left versus right, good versus evil, us versus them. This is a classic divide and conquer strategy. It keeps us distracted from deeper issues and prevents us from uniting around what truly matters. I noticed this acutely during the pandemic. Friends and family I loved found themselves on opposite sides of debates about safety, freedom, and responsibility. Conversations that used to be lighthearted turned into battlegrounds. I realized how easy it was to lose sight of compassion, and when fear was in the driver's seat. If we practiced the middle path, we might pause before reacting. We would remember that human beings are not caricatures of their political opinions. We would honor the principle that basic human rights apply to everyone. Holding on to values of compassion and balance, even when the world encourages extremes, can guide us toward a more unified and hopeful future. The value of every human life. At the core of the middle path is a deep reverence for life itself. We can all agree that every human life carries value. But when governments justify harm to millions of innocent people to achieve political or economic goals, we risk losing our humanity. I once caught myself slipping into the trap of dehumanizing the other side. It was easier to group people together than to sit with the complexity of their stories. The middle path asked me to slow down, to listen, and to see that there are always many sides to every story. This does not mean condoning harmful actions. It means refusing to strip away someone's humanity in order to make sense of the world. Practicing this perspective is not always easy. It requires conscious intention to value life equally, even when we disagree, even when anger feels easier than empathy. But in choosing empathy, we choose a future built on connection rather than destruction. The fear of AI and the danger of autopilot. In recent years, a new fear has taken hold: artificial intelligence. Many worry that machines will replace us or control us. Yet, when I reflect on what is most alarming, it is not AI itself. It is how numb and unconscious we have become as a society. We live much of our lives on autopilot. We scroll endlessly, consume food we know is harmful, and buy products that compromise our health and environment. Meanwhile, governments and corporations act in their own interests with little regard for the people they are meant to serve. In this unconscious state, we become easy to manipulate. Walking the middle path means waking up. It is not about rejecting technology or clinging to old ways out of fear. It is about using intention and awareness to decide how we want to engage. Like exercise, conscious living takes energy and discipline. The more we practice, the stronger we become, and the easier it becomes. We stop getting swept away by fear-driven narratives and start choosing alignment with our values. Choosing the middle path in daily life. The middle path is not just a lofty philosophy. It shows up in everyday choices. For me, it is as simple as how I engage with food, news, and relationships. With food, instead of swinging between restrictive diet and indulgence, I choose nourishing meals a lot of the time while allowing room for joy and flexibility. With news, I limit my consumption so I stay informed without drowning in fear-driven headlines. I remember that everything happening is supporting the awakening of humanity. With relationships, I practice listening to perspectives I may not agree with, without needing to label people as right or wrong, letting curiosity guide the way. Living this way feels like building a muscle. Each time I choose balance over extremes, I create more inner stability. That stability ripples outward and shapes how I show up in the world. AI as a tool for collective well-being. When approached with wisdom, AI has the potential to serve humanity in profound ways. It can analyze vast amounts of data, offering us balanced perspectives that might cut through the noise of polarization. It can suggest the most efficient, sustainable practices, connect us with local resources, and help us make mindful decisions that align with our values. Imagine an AI designed not just for profit, but to support human flourishing. Picture a tool that guides us toward healthier habits, fosters deeper community connection, and amplifies our compassion rather than our fears. That future is possible, but only if we remain grounded in spiritual principles as we build and use these tools. Grounding technology in spiritual principles. This is where the middle path becomes essential. We cannot afford to idolize AI or demonize it. Instead, we must hold our wisdom, values, and conscious intention at the center of how we engage with technology. Remember, it is a mirror, an amplifier. Spiritual principles such as compassion, unity, and balance are not abstract ideals. They are practical guides that can keep us from building a future that looks like a dystopian science fiction movie. The middle path reminds us that technology should serve humanity rather than lord over it. Co-creating our future. Ultimately, the future is not something that just happens to us. It is something we co-create every day with our choices. Each time we choose balance, compassion, and intention, we contribute to a collective story that is healthier and more hopeful. As children, many of us dreamed of futuristic worlds filled with possibility, innovation, color, and creativity. That world is still within reach if we choose to walk the middle path together. By listening deeply, valuing every human life, and using technology wisely, we can co-create a future that reflects our highest ideals. The choice is ours. The middle path offers a compass for navigating the chaos of modern life. It asks us to pause before choosing extremes, to see humanity in one another, and to live with intention rather than autopilot. The choice is ours. We will let fear and division dictate our future, or we will anchor ourselves in compassion, wisdom, balance as we face this new frontier together. By embracing the middle path, we can step into a future where technology supports our humanity and our environment, where division gives way to unity, and where every life is valued. Together we can build the mindful, exciting, and compassionate world we once dreamed of. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to checking in with you next time. Later.